about why some stories make it to the news and others not? How a story make it to the front page of a daily newspaper? Well, the media and journalists have established a set of criteria to select and bring what is purposeful as a matter of interest to the public sphere, which would be interesting and sensational piece of information to have. But with the rapid evolution of the media landscape, consumerism, and advent of social networking sites, the way we gather and share information are constantly changing. So, do we need to reconsider the principle and values of newsworthiness? For us to answer this question, let us understand what is news values. Well, there are different variations used in the media industry, yet there are seven most common values which, according to Stephen Lambeau in his textbook News as It Is, which should be applied prior to reporting. These values are timeliness, impact, prominence, proximity, conflict, bizarreness, and currency.
Now let's have a look to those news values. Firstly, timeliness refers to new or recent, an incident or event has happened where the situation are more newsworthy. That's why it is called breaking news or news. Impact refers how much the society, including social, economic, political, and cultural influences, will be affected by a specific event or issues, such as high inflation rate, which will lead to a financial crisis, or the impeachment of a political figure, which will definitely have a heavier weight in newsworthiness. Whereas prominence involves individuals who are public figures such as actors, artists, celebrities, or a renowned president of a country like Justin Trudeau in Canada, who has a lot of followers and people like to be updated about his whereabouts and what he is currently doing at the moment for his government. Proximity is how closely connected and related an event can be to a specific community, such as reporting a local murder case in the neighborhood or interruption of water supply in a specific region, also known as close-to-home reporting. Conflict in itself is newsworthy as it tackles issues like war, famine, or strikes globally. Bizarreness, also known as oddity, is related to the uniqueness of an event, which is not common, unexpected, or rare. For example, a dog bites a woman is usual news, but a woman bites a dog is very unusual. And finally, currency refers to topics which are trendy in the media, such as the Ice Bucket Challenge, as well as the pulse news, which matters fall under the currency category. For example, despite the 9/11 tragedy 22 years ago, the Memorial Day of this event is a symbol of remembrance in honoring the people killed during this attack, which is awaited every year and become relevant to the currency.
News values serve as a guideline to journalists to determine what story need to be reported on and investigated to provide accurate and truthful information to the public. It is right to say that journalists are the watchdog of the society to give timely and crucial information and evidence to us. However, we have seen how the society and news has evolved as well. Since the COVID outbreak, we observe a rise in reporting news through citizen journalism like vlogging instantly and shared on social networks like Facebook, which may shed light on certain topics, but it relates to news delivery rather than news reporting. So, do we need to review news values? While some may be against it, the media landscape and journalists are finding new ways to convey information to the public but still maintain news values as their priority to report and deliver news. With the rise of Web 2.0 and technologies, we have seen how news spread rapidly online and offline. We are aware of global issues instantly, so the major negative aspect here is not about the news worthiness, but how the media can capture the interest and attention of the audience. Therefore, reporting only is not enough, but how journalists and the media do it are crucial.
Now let's have a look to our expert code and analysis. According to Abdenor et al. 2017, nowadays media channels look at issues and cover from a societal perspective, no longer focusing only on facts, but the real picture, which involves constructive journalism, solution journalism, and restorative narratives. And this kind of reporting is consistent with journalism core values. The article further explored journalist Sidney Head, founder of broadcast modern journalism, saying how every single thing a journalist do is going to be colored by their orientation. which mean that any piece of investigation or evidence need to be screened by news values and processed to be deliverable to the public before making it to the news, as this will be the guide into educating and creating awareness for the audience, just like a benchmark to dig and follow. Our second expert would be former journalist and author of News as It Is, Stephen Lamble, who mentioned in his textbook that according to the influential US journalist and educator Melvin Mencher in 2017, there are two major guidelines to follow and make news worthiness. Firstly, it should be information that break the normal flow of events, a disruption in the expected. Secondly, news should be a piece of information that sounds like decision about their life, which means it should inform and concern the people. He later on elaborated in his textbook about the inverted pyramid, which is a formula provided with the most newsworthy information first and the least important last, aiming to build interest and ensure clarity. And combining news values with the inverted pyramid formula makes the stories deft and pointed, as Mersher would have said previously, which create more substance and answers which will captivate and interest news consumers as they can scan, listen, and pick up key facts in a quick momentum.
To conclude, this video essay has tackled and explained news values in journalism. We have seen that those very same values have been applied since the dawn of time, and these very same values are still relevant today in this modern era. But to be a real journalist, one must set these values as principle to follow. What should be reviewed is the way any journalists approach and deliver news, on which they work hard on as it requires time, research, transparency, while respecting and making sure it is newsworthy to the audience. Thank you.